And Merlin loosed his hand from hers and said, I never was less wise, however wise. Too curious, Vivian, though you talk of trust, than when I told you first of such a charm. Yea, if you talk of trust, I tell you this, too much I trusted when I told you that, and stirred this vice in you which ruined man through woman the first hour. For howsoe'er in children a great curiousness be well, who have to learn themselves and all the world in you that are no child. For still I find your faces practised when I spell the lines I call it. Well, I will not call it vice, but since you name yourself the summer fly, I well could wish a cobweb for the gnat, that settles beaten back and beaten back settles, till one could yield for weariness. But since I will not yield to give you power upon my life and use and name and fame, why will ye never ask some other boon? Yea, by God's rood I trusted you too much. And Vivian, like the tenderest-hearted maid that ever bided tryst at village stile, made answer, either eyelid wet with tears. Nay, master, be not wrathful with your maid, caress her. Let her feel herself forgiven who feels no heart to ask another boon. I think you hardly know the tender rhyme of trust me not at all or all in all. I heard the great Sir Lancelot sing it once, and it shall answer for me. Listen to it. In love, if love be love, if love be ours, faith and unfaith can ne'er be equal powers. Unfaith in aught is want of faith in all. It is the little rift within the lute that by and by will make the music mute, and ever widening slowly silence all. The little rift within the lover's lute, or little pitted speck in garnered fruit, that rotting inward slowly moulders all. It is not worth the keeping, let it go, but shall it? Answer, darling. Answer, no, and trust me not at all, or all in all. O master, do you love my tender rhyme? And Merlin looked and half believed her true, so tender was her voice, so fair her face, so sweetly gleamed her eyes behind her tears, like sunlight on the plain behind a shower. And yet he answered half indignantly, far other was the song that once I heard by this huge oak sung nearly where we sit. For here we met, some 10 or 12 of us, to chase a creature that was current then in these wild woods, the hart with golden horns. It was the time when first the question rose about the founding of a table round that was to be, for love of God and men and noble deeds, the flower of all the world. And each incited each to noble deeds. And while we waited one, the youngest of us, we could not keep him silent, out he flashed. And into such a song, such fire for fame, such trumpet glowings in it coming down to such a stern and iron clashing close, that when he stopped, we longed to hurl together, and should have done it. But the beauteous beast, scared by the noise, upstarted at our feet, and like a silver shadow slipped away through the dim land. And all day long we rode through the dim land against the rushing wind, that glorious roundel echoing in our ears, and chased the flashes of his golden horns, till they vanished by the fairy well that laughs at iron, as our warriors did. Where children cast their pins and nails and cry, laugh, little well. But touch it with a sword, it buzzes fiercely round the point, and there we lost him. Such a noble song that was. But Vivian, when you sang me that sweet rhyme, I felt as though you knew this cursed charm, were proving it on me, and that I lay and felt them slowly ebbing name and fame. And Vivian answered mournfully, O mine have ebbed away for evermore, and all through following you to this wild wood, because I saw you sad, to comfort you. Know now what hearts have men, they never mount as high as woman in her selfless mood. And touching fame, howe'er you scorn my song, take one verse more, the lady speaks it, this. My name once mine, now thine, is closely a mine. For fame, could fame be mine, that fame were thine. And shame, could shame be thine, that shame were mine. So trust me not at all, or all in all. Says she not well? And there is more, this rhyme is like the fair pearl necklace of the queen that burst in dancing and the pearls were spilt. Some lost, some stolen, some as relics kept. But nevermore the same two sister pearls ran down the silken thread to kiss each other on her white neck. So is it with this rhyme. It lives dispersedly in many hands, and every minstrel sings it differently. It is their one true line, the pearl of pearls. Man dreams of fame, while woman wakes to love. Yea, love, the lover of the grossest, carves a portion from the solid present, eats and uses, careless of the rest. But fame, the fame that follows death, is nothing to us. And what is fame in life but half disfame, and counterchange with darkness? Ye yourself know well that what envy calls you devil's son, and since you seem the master of all art, they fain would make you master of all vice. And Merlin locked his hand in hers and said, I once was looking for a magic weed, and found a fair young squire who sat alone had carved himself a knightly shield of wood, and then was painting on it fancied arms, azure, an eagle rising, or the sun in Dexter's chief. The scroll I follow fame, and speaking not but leaning over him, I took his brush and blotted out the bird, and made a gardener putting in a graph. With this for motto, rather use than fame. You should have seen him blush. But afterwards he made a stalwart knight. O Vivian, for you, methinks you think you love me well. For me, I love you somewhat. Rest. And love should have some rest and pleasure in himself, not ever be too curious for a boon, too prurient for a proof against the grain of him you say you love. But fame with men, being but ampler means to serve mankind, should have small rest or pleasure in herself, but work as vassal to the larger love that dwarfs the petty love of one to one. Use gave me fame at first, and fame again increasing gave me use. Lo, there my boon. What other? For men sought to prove me vile, because I fain had given them greater wits. And then did envy call me devil's son, the sick, weak beast seeking to help herself by striking at her better missed, and brought her own claw back and wounded her own heart. Sweet were the days when I was all unknown, but when my name was lifted up, the storm brake on the mountain, and I cared not for it. Right well know I that fame is half disfame, yet needs must work my work. That other fame to one at least who hath not children, vague, the cackle of the unborn about the grave, I cared not for it. A single misty star, which is the second in a line of stars that seem a sword beneath a belt of three. I never gazed upon it, but I dreamt of some vast charm concluded in that star to make fame nothing. Wherefore, if I fear, giving you power upon me through this charm, that you might play me falsely, having power, however well ye think ye love me now, the sons of kings, loving in pupilage, have turned to tyrants when they came to power. I rather dread the loss of use than fame. If you are not so much from wickedness as some wild turn of anger, or a mood of overstrained affection it may be, to keep me all to your own self, or else a sudden spurt of woman's jealousy should try this charm on whom ye say ye love. And Vivian answered, smiling as in wrath, have I not sworn? I am not trusted? Good. Well, hide it, hide it. I shall find it out. And being found, take heed of Vivian. A woman and not trusted, doubtless I might feel some sudden turn of anger born of your misfaith. And your fine epithet is accurate too. For this full love of mine, without the full heart back, may merit well your term of overstrained. So used as I, my daily wonder is I love at all. This is a woman's jealousy. Oh, why not? Oh, to what end except a jealous one, and one to make me jealous if I love was this fair charm invented by yourself? I well believe they're all about this world you cage a buxom captive, here and there, closed in the four walls of a hollow tower from which is no escape for evermore. Then the great master merrily answered her, full many a love in loving youth was mine. I needed then no charm to keep them mine, but youth and love. And that full heart of yours whereof you prattle me, now assure you mine. So live uncharmed. For those who wrought it first, the wrist is parted from the hand that waved, the feet unmorticed from their ankle bones who paced it ages back. But will you hear the legend as in guerdon for your rhyme?